Hey, so today I'll be watching Bibliophile Princess, episode 4. And I really can't wait to see this episode, since in the last episode they kissed. I'm excited to see what happens next. But before I watch the episode, I'm of course gonna do my intro. So firstly, of course, the books that I have here. For the mythology section, I have an illustrated treasury of Scottish folk and fairy tales. And then, due to the size difference of the books, I switched these next two. For the historical fiction one, I have The Queen's Vow. And next is The Myths of Mexico and Peru. For the fantasy section, I have The Guardians of Gahul. Then I have a light novel volume of the ancient Magus bride, titled The Golden Yarn. And for the old classic, I have The Incredible Journey, which is the book that the movie Homeward Bound is based on. And the last thing I want to mention was my shirt. Since initially I had planned to watch this episode the same weekend that Halloween was on, I decided to buy this Halloween-themed book shirt, since I kinda wanted to be on theme for both things. But since I wasn't able to record during that weekend, until now, I decided to still wear the shirt, since that was the original plan, and since I bought it I wasn't just not gonna wear it. The shirt depicts two ghosts sitting on a bunch of books, reading the book together. And on top of it, it says, books. And I thought it was pretty funny, because it's a pun on the word books, and the fact that ghosts say boo in media. Now with all that being said, onto the episode. That has to be his mom. Yep. I like how it kinda looks like a book right now. Is this after he proposed? No, I think it's before. He remembered. That long ago? This gave me so much Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts vibes. Not this part, but still. I love that he goes to all this trouble for her. She's really happy. She ain't hiding her high status and schooling. And where are they? He's not gonna like that. What? That was quick thinking of the kid. Did he tell him the truth? What? Okay, I thought he was just acting. So he's never met him or what? Ah,
エリー、何かなその目は。
いえ、別に。
がお相手の騎士だったとは知らなかったな。エリアーナ様、食べないの？食べたことない料理に警戒して。
東の国の料理は以前、家の料理
oh, that's nice little cook.
何でも
Oh no.
ことをご存知なのでしょうか。
やっぱり僕の存在感。あら、報告は向こうを向いていたら食事ができないよ。ほら。ちっこい姉ちゃん。
Tiny lady.
エリアーナ、
モグラの身内なのか。こと見下してるのが丸分かりだったんだ。でもルネのか、俺たちのことも見てくれる医者がいたら。
誰でも見てくれるお医者様、昔したような。
人の足元見てふんぞり返ってる。
どうお伝えしたらいいのかわかりませんが、私が子供の時から繰り返し読んできた星の旅人です。この中で荒野で出会ったカラスにいじめられ、今君にいじめられてとても悲しい。だから僕は他のカラスに出会ってもいじめることはしないよ。私もそういう人でありたいと思う。
そんなの口だけなら何とでも言えるんだよ。言い過ぎた。姉ちゃんのあんたがベルンシュタインって聞いてつい。ごめん。
モロ様、パオー
Lord Paolo.
ような真似は決してしません。
Maybe a fake then?
でも欲しい。一服も
What? Okay, that's extreme. Drink poison?
いただきます。曇る方が悪くない。
ちっこい姉ちゃん、あんたが他の貴族とは姉ちゃんってどういう関係なの？
どういうとは？
恋
Oh god.
婚約者という肩書きなすこともできず、自信がないのに。
兄ちゃんがルネの父ちゃんじゃないのはなんとなく。もうルネのやつずっと父親の存在に憧れる。一日だけルネの父ちゃんとして貸し出してくれよ。
本人から了承を得てくれるかな。これからシスルの星の長に会いに行って。会いたくない人だが仕方ない。
兄ちゃん、モグラはどうする？
その後でよくよくお礼をするよ。さあ、
Not holding his hand.
どうしてこうなった？エリーを守る騎士役は自分もあの頃常にこんなに青い目をした一人の小さ
Is this about him?
な母親は病気を治すために遠いところへ。
Is that what she's never seen?
それで毎日いっぱいお祈りしてたくさん手紙を書いたんだ。母親は病気に勝って戻って。
But she was different.
母親は全くの別人になっていて、しくて冷たい男の子に笑い
I wonder what happened.
ピリだけ泣いてしまったかもしれない。そして考えた。お母さんはきっとそれからは毎日魔法を解きたくてでも解き方がわからなくて、そうしたらそこに魔法を解くお姫様が現れた。
That's why he was so mad at the books.
魔法を解く
大切なものは目に見えない。
自分が大切なものを見落としていたこと。実は変わってしまったを全て大切にとっていて宝物なら。それからは母親に厳しくされてもそしてお姫様にとても感謝したんだ。ルネ、大切なものはいつでも目に見え。君は君の大切なものを見失ってはいけない。
お兄ちゃん、ルネ君、よかったらどうぞ。
私にも一つもらえるかな。
Is he gonna say feed me? I knew it! Oh my god, in public, people, come on. He's probably gonna just... Oh, okay. I knew it! Oh my god.
こんなに甘くて美味しいのに。
He's too much. Hmm?
俺たちには日
Oh my god.
光景なんだ。
Mind your business in public? Really?
レッツィ博士に取り継いでほしい。6年前の借りを返してもらいに。
6年前
の騎士様じゃと覚えがないわ。相手なら奉仕の家族どおるがな。
酒飲みレッツィじいさん。
おお、いつぞやシスルの子供なんぞこしらえたんじゃ。
Ellie, don't believe him?
私は他のことを知らなさすぎるのかもしれません。
あなたによく
It's over? I have so many questions. So this episode seemed to go by really fast for me. Like before I knew it, it was over already. I was like, what? I didn't get answers. I want answers. I got some answers, but not all the answers. Like just how I was questioning where's his mother, why does she never appear? We find out what happened. She fell into the typical cliche of anime mothers being sick. But unlike a lot of them, she survived and came back. But of course now she was different. Now why she was different, I don't know. Maybe so many years being apart from Christopher, maybe she didn't want to come back. Maybe she liked living out in the country or wherever she was living. Although that wouldn't really justify her treatment of her son. In the beginning we thought she was very nice. It was a huge reason as to why Christopher was so nice. But once she left because of her sickness, and he kept trying and trying to find solutions to make her better and couldn't find anything, he of course ended up turning on books, believing them to be useless and only good enough to be treated as toys, until of course Elianna came along and told him otherwise. And we finally got to see the reason why Christopher likes her so much is because when he was in his darkest times, she came in like a light. Just like how Elianna said that back then, she was like in darkness and Christopher was her light, that was her to him years ago. I thought that was a nice contrast and also very sweet of them to think like that. They are each other's safety nets. They keep each other from becoming depressed. When I saw that they were disguising themselves to go out into town, I immediately thought of my favorite manga series, Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. Since in chapter 3, Sarafi and His Majesty both go to the market in disguises. And His Majesty also tells Sarafi to not call him by his title but by his name, just like in this episode Christopher told Elianna to do. But excluding the whole punishment thing, that did not happen in this manga series, but it was in this episode. And it really adds a bit of humor to it. And honestly, Prince Christopher to me is really refreshing, because most of the time, some men in anime, or specifically royals, they're very not into showing affection when they're in public. And Christopher, very clearly, is not one of those people. He would just openly flirt with her all the time, and then he goes even further by one, asking her to feed him in public, because that's a very PDA thing to do, which Elianna was really not super on board with doing that, but she still did it anyways, because she was like, oh well, he's already waiting for the food, I can't just leave him there. But he went like literally full hawk in that moment, which is a character from the manga and anime series, Yona of the Dawn. That right when she fed him the food, he also took her finger like, dude, you're in public, why do you have to go so far? At least Hawking, the other series, did it when they were alone, and only because they got carried away. But Christopher didn't care that he was around public, two children were in front of him, nothing, he just did not care. So in this episode, she really felt like a distance between them, because he knew so much about her, and even remembered things that she said when she was a kid, that she feels in a way inadequate, because she honestly can't remember the first meeting. It makes me wonder, does that mean she might have had like some sort of amnesia or something? Or she just honestly couldn't remember? Because I know like not everybody remembers everything, even if it was just like a few years ago. She could just have like a bad memory. But the fact that she forgot that she met a kid who defiled books in front of her, and she even gave a lecture to him, like I'm surprised she forgot that. I don't think I would forget that. Or maybe I would. I mean, I don't have like the best memory. I don't even know what days it is most days. Anyways. Another thing that I really liked about this episode was that they mentioned fairy tales quite a bit. Because I'm really into mythology, that's what I'm studying, to be a professor in mythology and fairy tales. It was very nice to hear some fairy tales in this episode. Like even if they're not true, or I'm pretty sure they're based maybe loosely on some actual fairy tales, it was still nice to hear. I was also surprised at the fact that I honestly thought the kid was just joking when he called Christopher dad. Like, oh, this is my dad, you guys can't do anything to me. But it turns out, no, he really thought that was his dad. And the kid had to be what, maybe, I don't know, like 5, 6? Maybe less, probably, I don't know, maybe 4. Like he did really think that Christopher was his dad, based solely on what his mother told him. That his dad was a knight, that he had blue eyes, and likely blonde hair. So of course he sees Christopher and he's like, Dad, it's you, after all these years. Even though the implication was that maybe his mom kind of slept around and she didn't really know his dad. Maybe she made it up. He probably wouldn't stop asking her and she was like, you know what, your dad was a knight, he had blue eyes, thinking that the chances of him ever actually seeing somebody like that were very slim. And of course, as luck would have it, the same day that Christopher goes to the market, Renee sees him. I also found it kind of funny and a little bit cliche that Elianna actually believed that there was a chance that Christopher actually had a kid. She was like, I don't know. He seems pretty convinced you're his dad. It also made her realize something. She's been his fiancé for 4 years, and yet she doesn't really know a lot about him. Most likely she doesn't know about his mother, or really anything that he did before he met her, before she became his fiancé. And since I still don't know their ages, and I'm assuming that either Christopher is the same age as Elianna, or at least 21, although considering how most princes and kings are typically known for in cliches, is the fact that yeah, they slept around. And I imagine there are a few books that also said that as well. So of course Elianna would probably think that, well, he says he loves me, but there's a chance that there have been others before me, and he actually ended up having a kid with somebody. It's sad that she would think that, because we can see that it's not true, but I can also see as to why she would think that. Poor Christopher though. So I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode, and to find out what exactly Christopher took from the doctor 6 years ago. Though I suspect that it's either something for his mom or something for Elianna. Since 6 years ago Elianna was 12, and it wasn't until she was 14 that they got engaged. So maybe there's a chance that he took a book from the doctor to maybe show to Elianna one day.